Good morning, afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentle people. Sorry it's taken so long, but we are finally here. Teams are now starting to get into the ban and pick phases, and well, this is, if you saw the tweet on LPL, the first Dota 2 community cast. And here tonight, we have two teams from the Opens League. We have, you might not show on the overlay correctly because they had to change our name, lobby issues, we'll go into that a little bit more, but we have Dota Warship versus Pangolins Wrath. Dota Warship are currently sitting second on the ladder, but that's because they have not played any matches today and the teams around them have either won or lost and kind of rearranged their positions on that ladder themselves. So this will be their first match of the season. Whereas look over Pangolins Wrath, they're third on the ladder at the moment. They're just sitting on that 1400 elo, so they're just behind Dota Warship. They've got one win and one loss, so this is their third match of the season. Both these teams, it's the first time they have joined the LPL competitive scene. This is the first time you'll see them here in the LPL tournament altogether for the competitive scene. And for all these players, this is their first LPL competitive tournament. They haven't got any experience at Counter-Strike, nothing for Rainbow Six, Valorant. It is all here tonight for their first time in Dota 2. So, with that out of the way, thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoy the cast, and let's get into the match. So, the teams are already underway. So, just note, Young NZ is actually going to be Dota Dota Warship. This is because there was an issue in our lobby system. We were trying to get things working. It wouldn't work without a second name when we're trying to do coin flip, so on and so forth. So they threw up on a team there for us, and they will be Young NZ, but we will remember them as Dota Warship, or at least hopefully I can try to remember that. I might forget because I am terrible at life. So let's now start deconstructing some of the picks coming out from either teams. Pangolins Wrath have decided to pick up a Snapfire and Dragonite. They've taken down that PA and Clinks. Clinks isn't really one we've been seeing too much being banned, but it is starting to get picked up a little bit as the most recent patch. A lot of people are saying the change to Clinks' Q ability, which was originally the quick fire where you could continually fire, increase attack speed, destroy towers, has now kind of rotated into a more single line target fire ability where you shoot up 5 to 7 arrows in a row and it pierces, does a ton of damage, and people are starting to pick up on Clinks is quite strong, so not too surprised to see that one out. PA is an unusual one unless you've got some kind of combination play you're afraid of, whether that be the Magnus or Ogre Magi really buffing up the PA. Not really one we see banned out too often, so it could be one of those more comfort bans that you don't want to have to deal with. On the opposing side, you start to see that Dota Warship are getting rid of Invoker. Another one of those is a little bit unusual to ban, but we are playing in the opens bracket, so these players are not the highest. They're not multiplayers. They're not up and divine. They are down a little bit lower because each of the three brackets in LPL is divided into three sections and divided into tiers of players and their ranks. So a lot of your bans and picks in these leagues will be what you don't like playing against or what you're not well practiced against. And that's what we'll kind of see coming out of these two teams here. You're seeing that the Invoker is gone. You're also seeing Undyne. Undyne's an interesting one at the moment because he got a interesting change in the patch. Having that shard where he spawns zombies every time he attacks, we're starting to see carry Undynes where you get the saber, you double hit someone, that's double zombies, and it's just stacking the slows and does a lot of damage. So it's the meta's changing a bit. We've even seen, I believe, who was it? One of the players, I think it may have been one of Team Secret. There's someone playing a Coddle mid in one of the games, and it absolutely destroyed Coddle mid, boots, 3 null talismans, dagger, and it was just GG. It was disgusting. So we are seeing a lot of unconventional heroes starting to be picked up in this new patch, which I'm loving because it is refreshing the meta before we hit TI coming up in a few months. So the teams, we've now got the bristleback taken out, so it looks like Pangolins Wrath are really trying to avoid either these kind of hard carries or heavy strength heroes, because bristleback, Undyne, Spectre, they naturally build quite tanky and can do a lot of damage against you, whereas you've got your PA and your Clinks are fairly elusive. They're happy to farm up before they really come online, whereas the opposing characters they banned out were more of these early game characters. Now, over on the other side at Dota Warship, they have taken down the Hoodwink and Dazzle. So they're starting to look at what supports they wanted to get rid of their opponents. They took out characters that can control the momentum in these fights. The Dazzle is going to continue to extend these fights a little bit longer, whereas your Hoodwink would be getting off a nice bushwhack every 10 to 14 seconds based on cooldown reductions if you go down that route. So the actual players and what they've picked up, however, we have got the Darkseer. Well, actually, let us audio in game. So we've got the Darkseer picked up with the Dragonite, two tanky heroes, going to provide a lot of momentum with the help of Snapfire. You get a nice vacuum into a wall. They're going to be dealing with a lot of illusions where Snapfire can burn them down. A lot of the time you like to see Snapfire with either AoE
10
stuns.
seconds remaining.
Big key to Snapfire's play is a
5
Void,
seconds remaining.
or anyone that can lock down heroes for multiple times, whether that be a long time route such as your tree or possibly your black hole if you go that Enigma route. Their opponents will see now an Axe being picked up. So Axe is going to work quite well with... Actually, it's going to be interesting. They have 3 heroes here which are all capable of going down that support route. You've got your Lina. Lina's those are usually seen as a mid or a position 3. But with that Axe, the Axe no longer a position 1 carry. They've changed to Shard. He'll be looking at going into that offlane role. But who will be following him in? The Gyrocopter now has been seen a large resurgence as a support play, no longer the carry, because a little bit of a change has enabled him to be fairly strong, especially with the Rocket. It's unusual. I'm sure some of you have come up against it in pubs.
10 seconds remaining.
It's a weird lineup to have to deal with the support Gyrocopter, but it's not
5 seconds
unseen.
remaining.
We have seen it in a few of the tier 1 players, international tier 1 players, and, well, it works. Just. So it's going to be able to keep Dota Warship's ability to keep their opponents guessing on who actually will... They will run in these lanes, which is going to allow their opponents a little bit more difficulties in trying to determine how they want to run this. But they've got a more of a clear cookie cutter build. You've got the Darkseer, he'll be on your offlane. Your Medusa looks to be either mid or safe, but the Dragonite generally does not like to be played in an offlane without some kind of ranged hero that can help him support, harass your opponents. He's got plenty of time to regen that natural regen and strength gain that can keep him fighting in these lanes. But will he be seen to be running in that offlane aggressive position, or will it be more of your mid lane, which is what I'm expecting here? Potentially up against this Lina will be not too bad for the Dragonite, because the Dragonite's naturally tanky. He can deal with the burst of Lina and survive those engagements. So it looks like now we'll be looking at Pangolins Wrath. They may be looking for one more character here, and it should be their final support if they want to go down that route.
10 seconds
remaining. Or they could throw a complete spanner in the wrench, go for another carry, and this
5
could
seconds
split
remaining.
your carries up between the lanes, but comes a very greedy lineup where you're now starting to play a later game, which might not be too bad up against the opponents who have a lot of these early to mid game aggression heroes. The Lina, Unstoppable Burst. Once hits level 6, 7, you'll be roaming. You've got the fiery stacks of 4 at level 4, and you can start doing a lot of right-click damage, and the capability to burn through these towers will be kind of helped by the help of Axe being able to creep cut and then kind of force your opponents to engage you. As long as Dota Warship kind of take the upper hand and either force their opponents to come to them, or they take the initiations, it's going to be a very hard fight for Pangolins Wrath, at least for the first 15 to 20 minutes in the game.
Sniper!
And now we see a Sniper. Sniper is going to have all the support of his teammates to be able to get him that room. The Axe is going to be initiating, and the Gyrocopter is going to be trying to take that mid to short range engagements, and they're going to have to look after the Sniper, because Sniper's going to burn down quite fast. If the Dragonite or the Darkseer gets on top of it with a good blink and then vacuum coming out from out the Darkseer, well, that Sniper can go down. He can go down fast, especially if he gets caught out with the Shadow Shaman. I really like the Shadow Shaman. It gives you that capability to start pushing down these towers, yet it also gives you the capability to lock down these heroes. So we should be seeing possibly the Snapfire with the Darkseer down in that offlane. Shadow Shaman and Dragonite pick up Shadow Shaman and the Medusa pick up that safe with the Dragonite mid, and it looks like they'll be going up against a... Ooh, okay. With that Sniper pickup, It could be run mid, or it could also be run safe lane. It's probably better run in safe lane. I don't think I would want to put a sniper up against Alina, because Alina inherently has a better advantage, because you've got not much HP as a sniper, and Alina will burst you down. A single light strike away with the Dragon Slave, you've got potential to pick up that sniper at level 1. And here we go, my friends. We are now into our first LPL Community Cast Dota match with Pangolins Wrath up against Dota Worship. They're going to be looking at seeing who can take the glory, who can take the fun, and also make their way up that open LPL brackets. Remember, if you do want to join the LPL competitive scene, get yourself a team, get yourself some friends, and get together and jump on in. There are constantly seasonal tournaments where there's new brackets joined, and you can always play for glory. If you start to get better and your team is capable, you can start moving up the different leagues, and there are prize pools up for the top of the Dota League tournaments. And we've got a smoke coming out from both sides as they're kind of searching, they're kind of looking, but they're not going to find anything, as well. Both sides had the same idea to try and find an opening in their opponents. It's going to be interesting to see where we do see the wards are going to be placed. If we look at some of these items, actually, no, we're going to, been spotted out. They've been spotted out by the tower, so they're going to hide up. They're going to throw up a ward on this cliff, hoping that there's going to be one rotate over to this top rune, but it's not going to be the case at this stage, as we're going to see Pangolins Wrath. Well, they're not going to be meeting their opponents.
This ain't no snowball fight.
They're both going to grab those and return to their respective lanes. Nice little ward up here. It might not be spotted out. It's going to give that mid lane a little bit of work to do if there sees any rotations around. Instant TP is coming down bottom. They've got to try and get into the creep block in this lane. It's interesting. We do have Boots picked up on the Shadow Shaman, so he's going to be low on hit points and stats. He's only got a little bit of regen if it goes a little bit haywire, which they're going to be up against an Axe and the Dark Willow. This two combination can be absolutely deadly. If they get a single root on, well, the Axe could walk on in there, create so much aggro and burn down these heroes quite fast. He's picked up that level 1 of the burn. Oh man, I can't believe it. Battle Hunger. He's going to be burning him down. Force him off Cloud. Cloud D notices that he doesn't have much regen, but he's taken a lot of damage himself. Unfortunately, this Mystic Snake was used on the creep. It was trying to get that bounce over towards Cloud D, because a single Mystic Snake wouldn't have killed, but it would have possibly have done enough damage to get it onto that 1 point hit point range. Recipe's denied, a little bit of denied. The harassment comes down. Up top is a little bit more standard. We are actually going to see the sniper go to mid lane up against the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight should do fairly well here, as he's got the HP pool and the regen to go up against the sniper. How well can the sniper do? Continually denying. He's doing quite well. He's got 2 deniers already so far in this mid lane. And so Lena is searching, going to make sure to shut down that pool camp so nothing can get past her anytime soon. They can't get any free XP out of that. I thought I saw, yeah, there has been a ward used to try and scout out any defensive observers coming up in that jungle. It's not going to be the case in this instance. They're making sure that they have that capability to keep that vision from their opponents free. And ooh, okay, never mind. That is the Dire that's got that ward down. I thought that may have been Spicy Bee's ward. It's not going to be the case, as the root comes on out. It's unfortunately misses. They're still chasing him down. They're getting a lot of damage on him. He's going to turn around to try and find a kill. But there we see where Willow disappears into the Dark Realm, but he's going to instantly turn around and Axe goes on down. The 1-for-1 trade there, but you've just picked up your Medusa, setting her farm back a little bit longer. Well, it's not what you want to see. At least he gets himself a TP to get back into lane, but that's not where you want to be giving your first blood up to. That Axe is happily going to take that, and the net graph leader in mid. Pop top taking a bit of damage from the sniper. Sniper potentially could have found a kill there, throwing out some of those shrapnels, and could have chased down behind that tier 1 tower. Little stun comes out by Hippity Hoppity, doing a little bit of damage towards Landry, but it's really not much to be afraid of. So as we now start settling into this match, both lanes are going to start equalizing out, getting a little bit of time to pick up some items, some weapons, to be able to deal with their opponent's aggression. We shouldn't really be seeing, because most both these sides don't really have huge kill potential. No call there on Axe. Level 3, that would have been one dead spicy B, one Shadow Shaman that would have fell into the void. And he goes for it. Oh, 4 HP. He took him down to almost able to find that kill there with the Shadow Realm. Max damage of 180 plus the attack damage over the top. Almost enough to find that kill. Arxia was a little bit afraid there, unusually using a bit of a surge to make sure he's not up that creep wave when he pushes it away. Pop top, he's doing plenty fine. He's got 11 HP and 15 armor. Sniper really needs to kind of aggress with the shrapnel, because the shrapnel's got to avoid that armor, keep him pushed off the line, allow him to get these free kills, and force him to fight underneath this tower, freeing him up to get these water runes. So, there's not much regen left on the Darkseer. He's going to be taken down by the bomb, but that is only a level 1 bomb, I believe. Yep, didn't do too much damage, not too much to be afraid of. And after that hits you and you've been level 4, you should know that if that second point is put into Flat Cannon or being put into the Barrage, which would make you want to stay a little bit further away from the lines, because if it's 2 points of Barrage, that can burst you and burn you down faster than you know what hits you. The little interesting thing here is we're seeing Shadow Shaman not being possibly as aggressive as he could be, especially up against an Axe with a high armor content and fast regen. He's now got the Ring of Health. Okay, he's not going to be dying anytime soon. You want to see your Shadow Shaman probably throw a few of those other shocks out, have the consumables there to pop them and trade with your opponent. Because at the moment, Cloud D is running all over the top of your poor carry there. Man, I'm missing names tonight. I apologize. So the last hits and denies. Gyrocopter's got 8. He's doing real well at this top lane, denying his opponent some farm. And that capability to really get anything out of this lane. Especially up against the Darkseer, you have that capability to constantly get those denies. Especially if the waves are not double shelled. A single shell is going to not be enough to really cause your opponent any kind of issues. Down the bottom lane, we do have the Dark Willow is going to be thrown at that stun. Do they have the taunt? They've already used the taunt. They're still chasing it down. And he's going to fall. The shackle's coming out, but Spicy Beast says that's not enough. He's going to retreat. And Medusa once again falls down to the pressure of their opponents. They've got to get themselves a little bit of a ward kill there. Sentry's not long for this world. Back in mid lane, Sniper's already got those boots up and running. Dragonite trying to push for them, but he does have that soul ring. We're just keeping it sustained. Arcane Rune says, I'm just going to continue to shoot you down. Oh, actually, what? Again? This time they got the kill onto Spicy B. We look away for a moment and they find themselves a kill. They don't want to show any other lanes here in this match. And Sniper, he's doing so well. He's going for the shot. Will he find it? He almost does. That is 14 hit points. He's going to retreat. If he had one more auto attack in there, he could have found that kill a bit earlier, but he went for the ultimate. Hippity hoppy, continue to force Maynard's assets. Get away from my mid lane. I'm going to get some XP and try and get a little bit of farm while my sniper, oh sorry, not while my sniper, while my Dragonite retreats. So this is a little bit of an interesting build here. 2 mana shield. It means that the Medusa has had a hard time, a rough time. You usually only want to get 1 mana shield because you want to pick up split shot, because split shot will accelerate your farm. But if you have to pick up 2 mana shield, it says that you're having trouble in lane, you're receiving a lot of aggression, a lot of issues from your opponent, kind of forces you down that route. Also, another little interesting pickup here. Usually, Iron Shell is also the way you want to rock on Darkseer. It allows you to also accelerate your farm, also put a lot of pressure onto your opponents, and if you double shell a level 2 shell out when you're level 3, it's such a hard to deal with, especially with a character with a low attack range. Like those 2 creeps then probably would have taken Slandry about 250 hit points. So a little bit of an interesting build there. Went a little bit more preparing for the team fight coming up in maybe 5 to 10 minutes by getting that extra point in vacuum. So this stage, the Bramble not going to be able to do too much there, as they're going to throw out the stun and they're going to be looking to go on to Spicy B. They've got the leader rotation on in. They cookie comes on out. Will be enough to save Spicy B. It might not be. So he's going to be shut down, and they're going to have to turn back around and try and fight for this match. Also, I don't know how to turn off my spectator chat, so apologies about that. So now, with 4 in favor of the die here, they're going to start moving up. They're going to push away the Naga once again. Sorry, not Naga, Medusa. Holy damn, I'm out. So Medusa's taking a lot of damage. She's got no mana to the name. A good point here, if you were this Medusa, would be to search for your magic wand. That magic wand will give you the mana and HP regen you desperately need as a Medusa, so you can get that Mystic Snake off after these two keep pressuring you with these spells. Snapfire has rotated back towards mid. He's got a very early Medallion of Courage here, as they're going to be looking, potentially coming out towards Maynard's here. He's going to be coming towards that small camp, as Lena's coming back down to the bottom lane and is going to be trying to help out these two again. They don't need the help, but they want to continue to put aggression onto the Medusa, because the Medusa's just having a difficult time. Sniper's sitting at 62 for 11 in mid. My god, he is absolutely flying. And look at that net worth. It's reflected. The only reason why Axe is still up there is he's finding all these kills and assists. Pop Top has done well not to die, but then that's that natural progression of the regen and strength as he levels up. That's keeping him in that mid lane. If there's another character at the moment, could be taking a lot more damage. And this is where you need to look at your teammates to potentially come in for a rotation with you. And you can see the Snapfire wants to. The good news is that they are preparing the stacks. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case this time. They're going to miss out on that snack, but they do get one down lower. You have to be careful though, because if this Axe gets a whiff of these stacks, he's coming on in, especially with that Vanguard, and he will take everything you have tried to set up for your teammates. And this is where that split shot would have been very useful for that Medusa. Would have been to help farming that camp a little bit more and deal with getting that acceleration into that net worth, which Medusa is sitting 6 on the table at this moment. It's not where you want to be at the moment. You want to be a little bit higher than that, especially since you are a character that's heavily reliant on farm. And here they go. The stun comes on out, but it's not going to land. And now Cape Wind's in a lot of trouble, but they're not going to chase that down. They're afraid of that Axe, and rightfully so. That Axe can take you on time and time again. Sniper, where's our Sniper gone? He's down bottom. He's also coming to push this lane. They're chasing after this Medusa. Medusa still doesn't have any money here. They should see the load. The taunt is not going to land, but he's trying to hide. He's trying to help that his teammates come on in. He's got a TP coming in from the Dragon Knight, but he's already dead. Can the Dragon Knight do too much here? He doesn't really have much items to his name, and Maynard is constantly just clicking him and kiting him around. They're going to turn back around. The Light Strike Array comes on out. It lands, and this going to, the Snapfire comes on out, throwing out those globs of doom. Will be enough to finish him off as Pop Top keep finding it. He has a fire breath, but it's not going to land. The burn's not enough also to kill as the Sheepy runs away, and 2 survive on very low hit points. The Radiant losing their tower and their 2 cores is going to hurt. They couldn't find anything on their opponents. Their opponents get away with murder.
Tower is under attack.
And they will take that time and time again. And now, Awkward, he's just going to move up, and he's going to take a more aggressive position. You might start seeing more wards come out from the Dire to start working on finding where this Medusa is. Because you do not want to give this space to Medusa. He's starting to get a few stacks. He does have a few deaths to his name, but he can accelerate his farm if he's got the team behind him. And already you're starting to see this, as I mentioned it, they're starting to look for their opponents, starting to clear that vision, starting to make that Medusa fear for his life here in the jungle. We hear a cooldown that will be used for a huge stack coming from Slandry. So also the opponents have been creating a nice little stack for themselves here on the opposite side of the map. And that will accelerate his farm even more. I mean, he's doing 66 for himself. Surprisingly, Medusa's at 52, and actually we've got the Shackles coming out, but he instantly cancels it. He doesn't want to stand around. Hawkwind comes on in, few auto attacks, doesn't even need to dunk. Because they've already got that 3-point shot coming from downtown. The Slanchu will be looking, going for a Dragonlance earlier on. Might be going to get that 4-star. And merge that in, because that will give him a little bit of HP advantage and give him that range and escapability from his opponents. And we're going to hear the moves. Comes on out, the cookie comes on in, but they're going against the takiest person. This might not be the person, but it looks like they have the damage. The globes, they're coming out. Can the Snapfire cannon? They do. They get a high valued axe kill, and now they've got the shackle on the Lina. Lina's going to go down. Pop Top might fall shortly after as he goes down for the damage of the Sniper. Sniper's still in the background taking shots, but there goes the Willard. They're going to start chasing in. The Hex comes on out, but the Sniper is so fast, he's going to Hex himself out of there, and they're going to throw down the wards. He wants to go for it. He hexes him underneath it. Will the shots get him? No, he won't. He will escape. Extra HP coming out from that Dragonlance enables the Sniper to leave and farm up a little bit of gold from those wards. So, looking at the last hit charge, you wouldn't expect that this game has only got 4k difference at the 14-minute mark. I just need to see something. I've just been... Oh. Okay, cool. Sorry. So, Dota Warship, which is on your dire side, are starting to try and pressure their opponents a little bit and starting to make their group up here in mid. They're going to cause a reaction coming out of their opponents to try and deal with keeping this tier 1 tower alive, and they're already starting to group up. They're missing a little bit of farm around the map, but the Medusa is still happily chugging away. Very low. Luckily, the opponents don't have any vision or any knowledge and not planning to come invade that jungle. Otherwise, that Medusa would be in a lot of issues. And as I say that, we got the smoke, and they're saying, let's go find that Medusa. They've circled the jungle. They're going to be looking. They might only find a Shadow Shaman, but Shadow Shaman might not get that stack off. He does.
Dire's middle tower
And they're still looking, they're hunting. The smoke has been popped. They're going to run underneath the tower. But that outpost is going to give away that there has been a smoke attempt. And there has been an attempt at this Medusa's life. Oh, they turn away at the last second. If they have a ward, they could try and get some information. But they don't have any wards available on their bodies. And now they're going to go in mid. They jive on in with the blink. And they're going to catch the Dragon Knight completely off guard as he falls down to the pressure of his opponents. There is a casual tower for Dota Warship as Pangolins are up, finding it hard to find any momentum here in this match. Medusa has swung out, is now going up to the top. He's got a lot of farm here, but he might not be able to do it with adding a split shot. He's gone 4 points in mana shield. You've started to get some time on the map. You need to get that split shot going. That Mystic Snake only does so much for you trying to get farming. Especially if you're not playing a brawly match. You're really going for the capability of farming because you're behind. You need to pick up some farming capabilities, which the Yasha gives you a little bit of damage, a little bit of speed to kite the creeps, but it's not too much. He needs to use his Arcane Ring and throw that Trip Fest. He needs to stay alive and keep up in the fight. The double damage of the Sniper, they've decided they're going to rotate up to the top lane, and they're going to continue this kind of group pushing. They're not really worried about having Slandry there. They're allowed Slandry to sit back and get the farm required. He's got 2,100, 2,200 gold. So he can look at picking up that 4-star straight away at the moment, or he might go a little bit of an unusual, because remember, this is the open brackets. You might not always find the on-pit meta items, characters, strategies. Anything can happen. It really comes down to team coordination in these scenarios. And well, they're going to fortify just before that tower goes down. They retreat. And they're just going to give it up. They're not even going to try and get that kill. They're afraid, especially of that axe. And then the opposing side, Sniper is just going to push in the tower, get away, continue to farm up a little bit more in that jungle. Just look at that net worth graph. They're continuing to go up and up. What we need to see from Pangolin's Wrath is they need to either group up and try and take fights, because this is going to be one of the times they're strongest, because you got the Shadow Shaman lockdown. You have the damage coming from Snapfire, which starts to fall off the later the game goes. And most importantly, Dragon Knight. I'm not too sure if I agree with the Blade Mail build. He needs some damage. If he's afraid of taking damage, he's not going to have these teammates. They might not have the damage in these fights, because the sustain coming out from Dota Warship might be too much.
Are those cracks in Dyer's top tower?
And they're starting to chase on in. We hear a shackle coming on from a very aggressive position, but a great turnaround coming from their opponents as the right track away takes them down. That fear completely on point by Cloud D there, protecting that sniper. And the sniper still wants to go in. He pops the salve and is looking out more. It was very unfortunate there for Pangolins Raft not being able to find that critical kill on that sniper.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now they're going to continue pushing in on this tier 2 tower. And finally the cookies come on out, pushing away Dota Warship, getting them away from that tier 2 tower. And well, Snapfire is going to be happily using that 2-minute cooldown to continue to kind of depressurize the situation. They found themselves an axe though, and they're going on it. They've even used the wall. They've got the cookie. They've bagged him straight back in, and he just bursts. There was no time for the opponents to make the turnaround, but they're going to get a kill onto the Snapfire with the Laguna coming out, bursting another character down, and they're going to chase away the Darkseer and also the Dragon Knights. Dota Warship are going to turn that back around. Is the Snapfire and Shadow Shaman really at this stage worth it? They're two lowest value net worth characters, whereas the Axe was sitting at third. So we may even see probably more gold go to Pangolins Raft in that instance. Now another fight goes on down as we see the Willow throws out the stun, but they're going to get the kill from both of the core carries.
Where did Radiant's middle tower go?
So, unusual
Radiant's top
engagement there
tower
coming out from
has looked
Pangolins
better.
Raft. They decided to try and
Radiant's
take
top
the fight
tower
underneath
has
their tier 2
fallen.
tower, missing a few of their supports, and they just get completely shot down from Dota Warship. They want to deal with it, and when they found themselves the Darkseer. Darkseer's on the run. He's trying to get away. He's got a rocket chasing him. He gets hit by the roots, and then he will fall under the damage coming out from the sniper. And at this stage, Sniper only has a Maelstrom, but he's just doing so much damage because he's got free reign. The targeting of Pangolins Raft has been
Radiant's top tower has
probably
looked better.
not quite targeting the heroes that need to. The two main heroes at the moment doing a lot of damage is your Cape Wind and Maynards. They're doing a lot of damage from back. They're doing the stuns. They're walking down their opponents. And Axe, what are you doing, my friend? Completely away from the rest of his team. He's going to be taken down from
Radiant's top
Pangolins
tower
Raft, and that's what you need to
deserves
do.
just as much
If
help
there's
as
an
the
opponent
bottom.
that you can see, because if we do have a look at the Radiant's vision,
Radiant's
they
top
can see that there are
tower is
3
under
characters
attack.
up here. They knew there was another
Dire
one
have
farming near
fortified
mid,
their structures.
so it kind of gave away that there was a free axe alone, and there's nothing they could really do about it. They
Radiant's
went,
top
they
tower
hunted,
deserves
they found,
just as
they
much help as
conquered.
bottom.
And now we hear a blink. Pop Top's going for it. They've found themselves a sniper. But we have Dark Willow. Dark Willow's here. He's going to throw out the roots. But Maynard's is just going to fall down to the damage of the Radiant team. As now they've got the shackles coming on Dark Willow. Dark Willow can't go anywhere. There's just too much stuns to do with that. And all of a sudden, the lead is starting to turn back in favor of their opponents. They do have the wards available for Pangolins Raft if they want to start making their way up to the top tower and start getting rid of that tier 2, or they could look at finding themselves a Roshan. They could pop the wards. They got 20 seconds, but it might be a little bit too late now. They did have some nice vision in mid to see any of those rotations if they were coming for them. And it looks like Axe is just going to rotate back down and bottom. So what we originally saw from Dota Worship, where they were working together, trying to find kills, smoking up, and hunting their opponents, is starting to fall apart as they're starting to split up to try and find farm on the map. And this outpost is going to give away that there is a player here. And you can see Medusa is a little bit afraid of this. They're going to be able to get their Dark Willow to come on in to try and help on out. And what am I looking for? It is Bramble. Bramble is the root. I was doubting myself before. So now there's a little bit of fear in the hearts of the Radiant as they have to fall back and keep away from the Dire team. As the Dire, well, they're starting to take over your jungle. They're starting to take vision. Their vision here is still looking quite nice. They can see where the Medusa is, and they saw a few others rotate around shortly after. Come on, Shadow Shaman, my friend, look for that ward. Darkseer's playing with fire as these opponents are starting to push this bottom lane tier 2.
Not much good's happening.
Tier
to
2 is just
Radiant's
going to
bottom
fall.
tower.
They are starting to TP on in. We're getting prepared for this. The Dragon form has been popped. He gets the stun out. He's doing a little bit of damage. He's popped the Blade Mail. And the Axe is trying to fight against the Blade Mail. Both teams have Blade Mail on the other end though. Laguna is thrown down. They're going to find the kill on the Snapfire as the Axe falls. That is a trade you want if you're the Radiants. You still saved your tier 2 tower. Are they going to start chasing down for more though is the question as they start making their way closer and closer as the retreat come on out from Dota Warship. And they've decided to start. They turn back around. Maynards is going to come out. The stun lands and the damage from Maynards. The sniper is sitting uncontested. Great terrorize from that Willow, forcing the retreat from 2 key players. Medusa is all alone. He doesn't have the stone gaze and he will fall. He will go down. And that is a huge turnaround coming from Dota Warship there. They decided it was a favorable fight. They turned back around when the ultimates were down and, well, they found themselves full. Darkseer managed to survive, but out of all the players you want, it's probably not the Darkseer.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So now this tower is just gonna go down. There's not real much that the Pangolins Wrath can do at this stage. It's gonna fall. They're gonna get rid of the trees so no one else can TP in, like that pesky DK did before. And it's taken a little bit longer to get this tier 2 tower as I thought. At the same time, at the top lane, Slandry's decided he's gonna make the best of the space. He pushed in the top lane. 3 TPs are coming on in. They suspect something might be going on, but it's too late. Jericho has already left. He's found himself home back in his jungle. As we go into a little bit more of a farm fight coming from both of these teams. We did see the Observer expire or did it go down? I think it went down. No, I think it expired actually. We can see that Dota Warship, they're getting prepared like they want to go to the Roshan pit. They're getting some wards set up. They've got one at high ground, they've got one low ground. They are getting prepared to try and force their opponents to come out of it. Because look at that net worth. It is just unbelievably in favor of Dota Warship at this stage, including the XP. Now that BKB available and ready to be used by Maynards at 9 seconds. Oh, you're not locking him down. Your one main source of the lockdown of that Shadow Shaman is not going to be useful any longer. You're going to be hoping that Stone Gaze kind of catches Maynards off guard if he's not correctly paying attention. He's trying to get the tower. He's got the illusions, but it's not enough damage. But the creeps will come in and they'll find out very shortly.
Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as
You've got to be very careful here if you're Pangolins Wrath. If you come outside your base, you're going to get punished. You do not have the items. You don't have the farm to really try and engage on your opponents at the moment, especially if Maynards is so far ahead. Look at these hero levels, 19 on the Gyro, 17 on Sniper, and 15 on the Willow. Your Medusa and Dragon Knight on your opponents are only sitting at 14. And they do suspect that there is something going on Roshan, but there's not really much they can do. The Medusa's trying to farm, trying to get some items. He is still chasing his next big item. He wants to go for that shard. And he's being called to come on over, so he's going to be losing that time in the pit. And the Snapfire's going to push them out a little bit longer, but he might go down. Actually, it's the Shadow Shaman that might go down. One more shot, and it does grab him. And they will kill him. The Lina restarts the fight. We hear the Stone Gaze come on out. It's going to be trying to fight Maynards. Maynards is going to do the rightful turn around to retreat with the rest of his team. As the rest of the team's going to be coming on in. Hawkwind needs to jump on in there, but he's got a little bit of health. There he goes. He jumps on in. He finds himself one. The Darkseer is going to fall as soon as it started. And now the retreat come from Pangolins Wrath. You're going to see Uva Gooch. He says, okay, well, this is my time to go back into the jungle. I'm going to keep farming. We can't take this Roshan. It'll be a little interesting to see who they want to give it to. Will they give it to their initiator? No, they will give it to their carry.
Immortality!
I feel like in this instance between these players, it might have been better to see it on Hawkwind because, well, Salandry hasn't been close to dying. He's been doing so well at keeping his range. He's got so much hit points with the Dragonlance, another Ogre Club. He's got the Scepter. BKB is about to do it. He's not at any risk of dying. If you get it to your axe, he can get in there, continue to cause issues for the opponents. Oh, they're going to find the kill on the Sniper. Now we've got the TP coming from Darkseer. He walks, he finds himself 3. And he's like, oh, nope, I am out of there. As he finds the 3, they're going to turn around and grab that outpost. But this will give Medusa the time to escape if needed. And even look, continue to stay down here, which might be a little bit of a cheeky play. No, he's got a TP. One thing he could have done in that situation was pop his Manta Style. Manta Style could have came out and continued to try and push the lane a bit. It probably would have been killed up by this Gyrocopter, but you would have been able to delay the push a little longer, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep all these lanes pushed in, try and keep you with zero vision, because look at this, you can't see much. You can't see your jungle. You've only got your triangle to work in. And, well, that is only going to be about 600 gold, and that's not enough for the Medusa at this stage of the game. Medusa wants to find more, wants to kind of have free farm and work his way around the map, but he's not tanky enough to feel safe to do those engagements. As we talk about being safe, Gyrocopters continue to push in down this bottom lane, and now they're prepared. They're going to be coming for the Radiant, as the Radiant already starting to back here. They still don't have any vision. Oh no, Snapfire's going to be walking on in, but I don't think that vision was there. He stood just outside the vision range. They're not going to see that, but that ward is going to be crucial in these upcoming fights. Especially considering how much ground that Dota Warship have. These more defensive wards are kind of indicative of how afraid of your opponents and the location of where they are. Dragon Knights continue to try and push out this mid lane, but it gives the 5 men down bottom lane here some time to work against this tower. The sentries are coming down to make sure to deal with any of those Glimmercates their opponents have, and also to deal... I think that's just out of range. It is just out of range, unfortunately there. Because look at that creep wave, it just melts underneath the pressure of their opponents. The Glyph is going to have to use the Snapfire, throws out the ultimate, but it's not going to land. It scares them off. Now it's on a 2-minute cooldown. No longer will they have the globs.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Dragon Knight is working towards himself a BKB. He still doesn't have too much damage. He's gone for survivability. Whereas their opponents are getting a lot of damage. You got the sniper that's got a little bit more defensive coming from the Jaro. Oh, sorry, not Jaro. Yeah, actually a little bit more defensive from the Jaro. And we actually got a blink coming on in. They're going in. Great taunt to turn that fuck around. The cooldown's coming on now. The BKBs are used. Nice Terrorites locking in their opponents with a great stun. They're just holding them into place. They're just dying one by one. The chop is not going to be there, and he will fall shortly after. But even Gooch, he's still holding. He's standing his ground. He's going to fight. Unfortunately, the Mr. Snake does not find multiple. They do try and turn it around. He gets himself one more. They can almost find a second. They get the Aegis. They found themselves 4 with a buyback from the sniper, and they're still here to pressure this tower. If the Medusa had thrown the snake the other way, he would have hit the 2 earlier. They could have found himself 2 more kills and potentially escaped with the mana. But he was focused on that Gyrocopter, the Aegis, the one character you didn't want to have to worry too much about. And, well, the Gyrocopter survives. He gets the Aegis refresh. But the key point is they keep their tier 3 towers. Now the buybacks, they have been used. Shadow Shaman down, Dragon Knight down, Medusa down, for only a sniper buyback, which is a huge dip going to be in towards their gold. You continue to see it fighting down. It started to come up when they were doing well in that fight, but there was such a great taunt coming out from that axe with the light striker away. Just locked them continually in place. They couldn't go anywhere. The Terrorize also was used effectively to make sure that there was not going to be any follow-up and they couldn't engage any further. However, the Medusa stood the place, stood the ground, did a lot of damage, and that's going to put a little bit of fear into their opponents. Dota Warship might now be a little bit more key onto Evil Gooch. He's only got a Manta and a point booster, but he's able to dish out the damage if he's left unchecked. We got a smoke coming on out. It's instantly popped. They're going to be chasing down. Poor little Snapfire here. The Cookie, the 4-star, he goes up in the air. They're going to walk him into place. Light Striker Ray comes on down, and he is gone skis from the map. They had no vision. Snapfire got a little bit of aggressive. Oh, they found themselves a Medusa. He needs to be able to pop his Stone Gaze and run away here. He's going to get hit. They're still chasing him down. The Light Striker is coming out. The Shrapnel goes on up. He's taking so much damage. The Laguna, and he is dead. He needed to pop that Stone Gaze as soon as the initiation came onto him. And if it was possible, try and avoid that missile by getting a well-timed Manta style. He got caught out because they didn't have that vision of the rotation, and they took advantage. Now they start making their way up to the tier 3 here in mid, and there's not much that can be said for Pangolins Raptor. Nice blink comes on in. BK being used. The wards are going to come out now, but they're not going to be able to do too much. They're just going to get bursted down from the damage. The sniper says, I'm going to find you, Spicy. And Spicy falls shortly after tier 3 goes down. This is naked Rax for the taking, as we're going to continue to see the damage from Dota Warship. And
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
oh, what?
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
So the illusions from Dark's able to find the Dark Willow in the background. They just let their Dark Willow go underneath that pressure. Like, oh, good luck with that if they continue to take their tier 3s. It's a worthy trade. You're going to get 2 racks set here for only a Dark Willow. You'll take that trade any day of the week.
Radiant's bottom barracks have fallen.
And more globs are coming on out just to try and scare them off. Oh man, I love Snapfire. I can't remember the little lizard stand, but I love him. He's so cute. Now we're going to see the rotation quickly up to the tier 2, which is missing as they push into the creep wave here down to tier 3s, looking for their final racks of the match to try and continue to push their 21k advantage. This is going to be the last stand for Pangolins Wrath. What can they do here? They've got a lot of their abilities up. They're actually missing Dragon Form and that wall. Can they hold out for just 30 more seconds? Will their opponents clear up this tier 3 and the racks before they can get those ultimates online to put up a good fight against their opponents? They have been able to clear it up, so that should allow enough time for the wall and also enough time for the dragon to be able to be ready for the dragon knights. So this will be... Oh, and actually the wards will be prepared as well. This will be the best chance for Pangolins Wrath to defend. If they can find 2 or 3 kills here, especially on some of these key heroes, I mean that sniper, 19k net worth, 18k net worth. If they can find either kills on those, that's going to be a huge gold swing that they might be able to use. There we go, the Dragon Form has been popped, he jumps on in, he pops the BKB, the taunt is there prepared. The Blade Mouse coming out, they're doing a lot of damage in the backline, the wall's going down. The nice cooldowns doing a lot of damage, but he's stuck, he's trapped, he's trying to get it out, he's taking a lot of damage. The Dragon Knight's still in the background, creating a lot of issues, doing so much, but he needs the help of his team to do more. They're going to start coming on in, the Medusa's there, he's prepared, he's going to right click, the Dragon Knight's going to go down with the Lagoon as soon as that BK pops. Now the Medusa is all alone to fall under the pressure. Hawkwing gets the chop. And that, my friends, will be GG as it is called. Pangolins Wrath are going to be tapping out of this match here in the LPL Amateur Open for your Dota 2 tournaments. So congratulations to Dota Warship being able to continually control that game and continue to put pressure time and time again on Pangolins Wrath. They never really got a foothold. They started to build some stacks up for their Medusa, but after they took a little bit of time to clear up their stacks, and then after that they lost their jungle. We saw a great pressure coming from Dota Warship that just pushed them out of their jungle, forced the Medusa to only have 3 camps on the map, and then they just fell over and over again. They couldn't do much. There were some great catch-outs from Pangolins Wrath. They were able to find the sniper a few times out and about, and also Hawkwind when they were kind of trying to capitalize on their space that they made, but they were being a little bit too aggressive. But in the end, it was not enough, and we see that Dota Warship will be coming away with the victory here in the LPL Opens match. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. This has been a LPL Opens match. So this is of your teams of a little bit lower ranking. We are divided into 3 teams in the Dota 2 tournament in the LPL region. We have Opens, Amateurs, and I think Legends. But basically they're separated by your in-game ranks, the rankings of your teams, whether that be Immortal Divine players all the way through to your Ancients. And that's how all the teams are separated. Here in the Opens, these 2 teams have formed. They're trying to take their time a little bit competitive, enjoying the competitive environment. I hope you watch back this cast and pick up a few things and learn, because that's what this is all about in the end, is for these teams to be able to come together, play some fun Dota in a competitive environment, and learn even some new skills or some teamwork to be able to push yourself a little bit further on and take your skill to the next level. Anyway, that's been enough rambling from me. Thank you all for coming on tune in for the cast. I hope you've enjoyed it. I primarily do Valorant content for our Opens, Evolutions, and Legends League for the LPL. I also do variety off the side, but I hope to be able to showcase a little bit more of our Dota scene if we have the teams that are available to play, because I myself am a huge Dota player. I've got about 4K hours. I sit Divine, or just under Divine, I think. Where do I sit? Yeah, just under Divine. I used to be Divine, but I fell out into Ancient. So one day I might go jump back into the ranked club and climb my way back up. Anyway, thank you for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for tuning in.